Welcome back to the Stoic Mindset. We'll explore 7 key lessons grounded in Stoic philosophy, lessons that guide men toward forming lasting, genuine relationships. These lessons draw from ancient Stoic teachings and apply them to modern relationships, particularly focusing on qualities like presence, emotional resilience, wisdom, patience, and detachment. So, let's dive into each of these 7 powerful Stoic lessons. Lesson 1. The power of presence. The first lesson we'll explore is the power of presence, a quality that older men often possess in abundance. Presence, in a Stoic sense, is about being fully engaged in the moment. It's not about physically being there. It's about mentally and emotionally investing yourself in the interaction at hand. The Stoics believed in living each moment as if it were your last. This heightened awareness of the present helps foster deep, meaningful connections. Why is presence so important? For women, presence signals maturity, attentiveness, and emotional availability. An older man who has developed this power over time is often seen as calm, collected, and unhurried, qualities that are naturally attractive. Instead of constantly worrying about what's coming next or being stuck in the past, these men are deeply rooted in the present, making their partners feel seen, heard, and valued. Practical application. How to cultivate presence in your relationships. Mindfulness in conversations. When you're speaking with someone, particularly a partner or someone you're romantically interested in, give them your undivided attention. Avoid the temptation to check your phone or think about what you're going to say next. Instead, listen with the intention of understanding, not just responding. Body language and eye contact. The way you physically present yourself plays a role in how present you appear. Make eye contact. Nod to show understanding, and keep your body turned toward the person you're engaging with. Your physical presence can enhance the emotional connection you're building. Let go of distractions. A key Stoic principle is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. When you're in a conversation or on a date, consciously set aside thoughts or worries about the future. You can't control what will happen tomorrow, but you can control how present you are today. Philosophical insight. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about the importance of being present. In Meditations, he urges us to confine yourself to the present moment. This advice can be applied directly to relationships. When you are fully present, you communicate care, attention, and respect, all of which are foundational to building deep connections. Lesson 2. Emotional resilience. Next, we turn to emotional resilience, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a trait that older men often embody through the hard-earned wisdom of life experience. Emotional resilience is the ability to remain composed and balanced, even in the face of life's inevitable challenges. This kind of resilience is particularly attractive because it creates a sense of security and reliability in a relationship. What makes emotional resilience attractive? When a woman sees that a man can handle life's ups and downs with grace and strength, she feels secure. This emotional stability is one of the most sought-after traits in a partner. It's the ability to face conflict, disappointment, or hardship without falling apart or becoming reactive. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control external events, we can control how we respond to them. And this is the essence of emotional resilience. Practical application. How to develop emotional resilience. Reflect on past challenges. Older men have often faced their fair share of challenges, be it career setbacks, personal losses, or emotional struggles. Instead of letting these difficulties break them, Stoic men reflect on them as opportunities for growth. You can do the same by journaling or meditating on your past experiences, focusing on how you overcame obstacles and how these moments strengthened you. Practice detachment from outcomes. Stoicism teaches us to detach from the need to control everything. This detachment doesn't mean apathy. Rather, it means accepting that not everything is within your control. In relationships, this detachment allows for greater emotional stability because you're not constantly worried about what might go wrong. Instead, you focus on what you can give and how you can grow. Pause before reacting. One of the simplest, yet most effective Stoic practices is the ability to pause before reacting. If something or someone upsets you, take a deep breath and give yourself a moment to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This kind of self-control is a key aspect of emotional resilience. Philosophical insight. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote extensively about the value of emotional resilience. In his letters, he frequently advised people to prepare for hardships in advance, not to fear them, but to become emotionally fortified. This preparation for adversity is what makes someone truly resilient. Lesson 3. Listening with intent. The third lesson we'll discuss is listening with intent. Often, the ability to listen, really listen, is a skill that older men have honed over time. This is one of the most powerful ways to build trust and intimacy in a relationship, as it shows that you value your partner's thoughts and feelings. Why is listening so powerful? Listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about understanding the emotions, desires, and concerns behind those words. Women often appreciate older men because they tend to listen more than they speak, and this aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of sophrosyne, or moderation in all things. Rather than dominating the conversation, a Stoic man listens actively, allowing space for his partner to express herself fully. Practical application. How to become a better listener. Ask open-ended questions. One of the simplest ways to improve your listening skills is by asking open-ended questions. This shows that you're interested in more than just surface-level conversation and that you genuinely care about your partner's thoughts. For example, instead of asking, "Did you have a good day?" you might ask, "What was the best part of your day?" Practice empathy. Listening with intent means putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Try to understand not just what they're saying, but why they're saying it. What emotions or experiences might be driving their words. When you listen with empathy, you create a deeper connection and build trust. Silence your inner dialogue. One of the biggest barriers to effective listening is the constant inner dialogue we all have. While your partner is speaking, you might be thinking about your response, or even about something entirely unrelated. Silence this inner chatter and focus fully on the other person. This level of attentiveness is rare, and it will make your partner feel truly heard. Philosophical insight. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of understanding others in his teachings. He believed that by truly listening and understanding another person's perspective, we can respond with wisdom and compassion. This practice of listening with intent is central to Stoicism, as it fosters deeper human connections. Lesson 4. Wisdom and experience. The fourth lesson centers around wisdom and experience. With age comes the accumulation of life experiences, and from those experiences, wisdom emerges. Wisdom, in the Stoic tradition, is about understanding what truly matters in life, recognizing what is within your control, and aligning your actions with your core values. Why do wisdom and experience matter in relationships? Older men often possess a depth of perspective that younger men lack. They've lived through various phases of life, encountered different types of people, and faced a wide range of challenges. This life experience allows them to offer insights and guidance that can be deeply meaningful in a relationship. It's not about having all the answers, but rather about having a thoughtful, measured approach to life. Practical application. How to cultivate wisdom in your relationships. Share your stories. Don't be afraid to share the lessons you've learned from your own life experiences. This doesn't mean you need to give advice all the time, but sharing your own stories, whether about successes or failures, can offer valuable perspectives. Women often appreciate the wisdom that comes from hearing how someone else navigated similar challenges. Embrace humility. True wisdom is often accompanied by humility. The wisest men are those who understand that they don't know everything. In relationships, this means being open to learning from your partner as well. Don't assume that your age or experience automatically makes you right. Listen, reflect, and be willing to learn from others. Reflect on your actions. Wisdom is often the result of reflection. Make it a Lesson 5. Patience and calmness. In our fast-paced world, patience is often seen as a rare and underappreciated quality. Yet, it is one of the most vital attributes that older men often possess. Through the lens of Stoicism, patience is not just about waiting. It's about cultivating a sense of calm in the face of adversity or uncertainty. It's about recognizing that all things unfold in their own time and learning to embrace that process rather than fighting against it. Why is patience so attractive? For many women, an older man's calm and patient demeanor is incredibly soothing. It signals emotional maturity and the ability to handle life's inevitable challenges without becoming overwhelmed. This kind of patience is comforting because it suggests that the man is not easily flustered by setbacks or uncertainties in a relationship. Instead of rushing or pushing for outcomes, he is content with allowing things to evolve naturally, which creates a peaceful, reassuring atmosphere. Practical application. How to develop patience and calmness. Practice Stoic breathing techniques. One practical way to cultivate patience is by practicing Stoic breathing exercises. When you feel your patience wearing thin, whether it's during a disagreement or when faced with a stressful situation, take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. Focus on your breath as a way of grounding yourself in the present moment. This small action can prevent you from reacting impulsively and help you maintain your composure. Reframe your perspective. The Stoics believed in accepting what we cannot control. If a situation isn't going the way you'd hoped, practice reframing your perspective by reminding yourself that time is not the enemy. Perhaps this delay or obstacle is an opportunity for growth, or perhaps it's simply part of the natural flow of life. Reframing allows you to let go of frustration and accept the present with grace. Delayed gratification. Patience in relationships often comes down to resisting the urge for instant gratification. Whether it's waiting for the right moment to bring up a serious conversation or allowing a relationship to deepen naturally, delayed gratification is a sign of maturity. Cultivate this by practicing restraint and being willing to wait for the right time to act. Philosophical insight. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus often spoke about patience, not just as a passive virtue, but as an active form of endurance. He taught that we should not only bear life's hardships, but embrace them as opportunities to cultivate inner strength. In relationships, this kind of endurance, this patient calmness, can create a sense of security and stability that both partners can rely on. Lesson 6. Self-assuredness. Moving on to the 6th lesson, we arrive at self-assuredness. Confidence without arrogance is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have, and it's something that many older men have developed over time. This kind of quiet self-assuredness is rooted in knowing oneself deeply, understanding one's values, and living in alignment with those values. What makes self-assuredness so powerful? A man who is self-assured doesn't feel the need to prove himself to others. He knows who he is and is comfortable with that identity. This confidence comes across in his actions, his words, and even his presence. For women, This kind of self-assuredness is magnetic. It's not about being boastful or dominant. It's about a deep sense of inner peace and purpose. Self-assured men aren't driven by external validation, and this makes them more attractive because they don't rely on the approval of others to feel secure. Practical application. How to build self-assuredness. Know your core values. One of the key aspects of self-assuredness is having a clear understanding of your core values. What do you stand for? What principles guide your life? Take the time to reflect on these questions, perhaps through journaling or meditation. The more you clarify your values, the more aligned your actions will be with those values, and the more confident you'll feel in your decisions. Act in accordance with your beliefs. Once you've identified your core values, practice aligning your actions with those beliefs. When you act in a way that is consistent with your principles, you naturally develop a sense of integrity and self-assurance. For example, if one of your values is honesty, make it a point to be truthful in your interactions, even when it's difficult. Over time, this consistency builds quiet confidence. Stop seeking external validation. Self-assuredness comes from within, not from external approval. Practice letting go of the need for others to affirm your worth. This doesn't mean you should ignore feedback or dismiss the opinions of those you respect, but rather that your sense of self-worth should come from your own evaluation of yourself, not from others' judgments. Philosophical insight. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of self-assuredness in his meditations. He wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This reminds us that true confidence comes from within, and that we should prioritize our own judgments over the fleeting opinions of others." Lesson 7. The art of detachment. Finally, we arrive at one of the most profound Stoic teachings. The art of detachment. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is not about emotional coldness or indifference. Rather, it's about learning to let go of things we cannot control and finding peace in that release. Detachment allows us to maintain emotional balance by focusing on the process rather than the outcome. Why is detachment important in relationships? Older men who practice detachment understand that clinging to specific outcomes, whether it's in life or in relationships, only leads to frustration and disappointment. This doesn't mean they don't care deeply, but they know that they cannot control how things turn out. This kind of emotional freedom can be incredibly liberating for both parties in a relationship. Women often appreciate this because it creates a space where both partners feel respected and unpressured. It's a dynamic where love and affection are freely given, without the need for control or manipulation. Practical application. How to practice detachment. Focus on what you can control. Stoicism teaches that we should focus on what is within our control and let go of what is not. In relationships, this means focusing on your own actions and behaviors rather than trying to control how your partner feels or acts. You cannot control how someone else will respond to you, but you can control how you treat them and how you manage your own emotions. Release the need for specific outcomes. Detachment is about letting go of the need for things to turn out a certain way. In a relationship, this might mean letting go of the idea that things need to move at a particular pace, or that your partner needs to meet certain expectations. Instead, focus on enjoying the journey and appreciating the present moment. Embrace change. Life is constantly changing, and relationships are no exception. Instead of fearing or resisting change, practice embracing it as a natural part of life. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means accepting that change is inevitable and that clinging to a static vision of how things should be only creates suffering. Philosophical insight. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus spoke often about detachment. He said, Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. This simple yet profound teaching is at the heart of Stoicism. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes from trying to control things that are beyond our influence. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoic techniques that older men use to create lasting, meaningful connections. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might benefit from these timeless lessons. Until next time, embrace the Stoic mindset, live with purpose, and navigate your relationships with wisdom and calm.